Guys, welcome to Sippin and Spillin with Syd from 3 Mississippi. Don't mind me, we barbecued last night. I'll tell you why in a second. And when we barbecue, Mike has to take one of my wandering Judes down because the heat is too much and he can't walk through. So I have to hang it back up, and I haven't done that yet. I need to get out here and water too. Some of my plants are a little sad. We haven't had any rain in a little bit. But I'm going to take you guys for a little walk and show you some things. You're going to get some spoiler alerts today. Mike's actually not home right now, and neither is Frankie. This is one of those very, very rare times where I am home alone. Can you believe it? It's crazy. And forgive me in advance. My microphone thing broke because it was my fault, I think. Anyway, I have a new one coming. And so I'm going to do my best here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay as we walk and talk and the geese yell. It has been a busy Sunday, guys. As I'm filming this, I have been on the go since early because I had to be at church even earlier than normal. And I literally have just been home for a little while. I have not even changed out of my church dress. All I did was take my sweater off. But I had to get Frankie to church by 9:30 this morning because she had an extra performance at church with some of the kids from youth, some of the girls from youth group. And so I had to drop her off, and Mike came later. He brought his own car. And then I had to run and go take out cash because Frankie needed cash and I needed cash because after church, we went to lunch with a couple of our friends, and then Beth and I had a meeting at church, and we were there and had to take the kids to church at 1 o'clock because they were leaving for their river trip. So we got them all prayed over and said goodbye to them, and did that whole thing. And then we had our meeting at the church about the food pantry ministry that we do there, and came up with some good ideas, I think, for that, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, after that, I went by not too far from here. There's a gentleman that makes these little houses, and you see Bunko, of course, has followed me over and is now checking them out. These are like little dog, goat, whatever, multi-purpose houses for animals. So my game plan for these is going to be initially for the dogs while they're young, because remember, they're only right now in like 9 weeks. So they're still kind of, they're getting bigger, but they're still kind of small. And this will be a good place for them to kind of get out of the rain and maybe sleep in or whatever. And then when they outgrow it, because, I guess they wouldn't. They might still be able to fit in there when they're bigger. But either way, I think eventually one of these is actually going to move into the coop for the ducks and geese to do their thing in there, and be able to kind of sleep in there, because in the evening they don't like to go up into the coop. Those of you who have ducks and geese, they tend to like to be on the ground, and so this would be kind of a good thing for them. And then probably we'll use it as nesting too. So these two will be used probably for many things, between the dogs, the goats, the geese, potentially, if I have a bottle sheep at some point that, if mama rejects it, I might use it for one of them. I love having extra little things like this, because this too would be real easy if I needed to throw a door on. And Bunko. Would be real easy to throw a door onto and use it for, and they were not expensive. For us to build this, would have taken a hot minute. They're really thick on the bottom and well made on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see, they're all, they're crafted. They're done well. They're very sturdy, and they're put together well. So these are gonna hold up, and they were only like $50, which I know some people might say, oh, that's too much, and some people might say, oh, that was a good deal, because people are always going to say what people are going to say. But I feel like this was a good solve. We have other things that we need to build and work on, like the fencing and finishing the coop itself. And so this was one thing that I was like, I can't. Mike was like, well, I could take a day and do, and I'm like, you know what, by the time you bought all the materials and then put all the man hours into it, I'm like, this is one of those things that it was literally like 4 miles from the house. I can go get it and it's done. And I'm buying it from somebody locally in the community that's making it. So I feel like that's a win to me. So anyway, I'm super happy that these are here now. My girlfriend Jen was the one that had found the guy and had gotten the first few, and I had asked her, I was like, did you guys make those? Those are cool. And she's like, no, there's a guy and he's right by you. And I was like, cool. So anyway, that's that. But guys, the big news really is that Chrissy and Jeremy from Paragon Ranch, you know, last week they came for a visit on their way out to Florida, and she brought me some of her fabulous laying stock, not only the hatching eggs for me to put in my incubator and hatch out, but she brought me some actual chicks, and they're doing really well. I've got a couple. One of them didn't make it. You know, this happens when you have chicks. One of them didn't make it. Was fine 1 minute. We went out there about 2 hours later and it was, so you never know. And then I got 2 more that are acting not right. They were cold. I put them under the heat thing and I was working with them and they perked up a little bit, but then I think they got dehydrated. So then I was giving them water. So we're going to see. And I'm going to go get some of my vitamin stuff, and slip that in their water too. Cause I didn't refill it with that like I did before. So anyway, so I'm going to do that. But guys, when they were here, we said, hey, you know, on your way back, if you want to stop through, holler at us. Well, they ended up doing that. So they actually came in on Friday evening and helped us get ready for the farmer's market. Chrissy was really excited she loves farmer's markets. As some of you may know, if you follow Paragon Ranch, they have a feed store and she hosts some monthly, farmers community market. Out here they call them community markets. I don't know if it's the same out there, but she calls it farmers market. But there's stipulations out here, I guess maybe are different than Oklahoma, but where you can't have live animal sales and all that. But anyway, she's got it to where they can do that out there. So she was real interested to check ours out and see it. And unfortunately, we were having a crazy heat wave, heat advisory. It was crazy hot the last 2 days. And so unfortunately it was so hot that there wasn't a lot of people at the farmer's market. So it wasn't a great representation for her to see that day, but she still had a good time. And then they were coming back and we were going to do some burgers. And then Tim and Dana, who are a couple subscribers that we've mentioned before that we had met at the meetup that live not too far from us, they had been coming to the farmer's market most weeks. Anyway, we had been in contact and they had stopped by and I said, well, why don't y'all just come by for some burgers if you're going to be back, you know, and if you're going to be staying in town, because they thought they were going to be going to Alabama to visit some family that might be coming into town, but I guess that fell through. I don't know. Anyway, they came down for dinner and got to see the place, and we ended up with the whole working crew, which that'll be part of a video coming out probably in the next week. We were able to get this next section of fence done and pulled, and between Parker and Preston, Jeremy and Chrissy's sons, and Frankie and Mike and Tim and Jeremy and Chrissy, and I didn't actually do that much. I know y'all love to get on me for that. I wasn't actually helping that much with that. I was running up and down the hill getting footage. I know a lot of you are like, I'm lazy, I don't do anything. But those of you that know, to get those shots, I've got to run ahead of them and then crouch down and then, you know. So anyway, I was still running around in the heat with them, but I just was doing a different aspect of the job so that we can show you guys. But anyway, had a great time. Was able to get this section of fence done after dinner. So that's a little spoiler for you guys. That's a little spill that we got that section done. And then I'm hoping they've got another section. He's got a string. He's got to put one more H brace in right here that he forgot to do. And then he's got a section that back piece back. And then it will be ready, I think, for the goats and the dogs. And he's actually out with our buddy Ryan right now. They went to Scruggs to go pick up something that he needed for the tractor, and so for Ryan's tractor. And when he comes back to drop him off, I think he's gonna try to talk him into spending a 45 minutes, an hour helping them do that. Because this whole section, the amount of work that we got done here would have taken Mike and Frankie, you know, probably about 3 hours to do. And we did it in about probably 45 minutes, an hour, with everybody helping. So that was awesome. Because there was a bunch of, they had to get the chainsaw out, because there were some saplings that had grown up since the last time he had bush hogged it right there when they had pulled the fence down. Because remember, that's been a couple months now since that fence came down, that was back there. So anyway, it's been go these last few days, and a lot of heat. So with it being, you know, over 100 degrees and feeling like it was 120 in a sauna, there wasn't a lot of working outside that could get done over this weekend. So unfortunately, my dream of getting the fence completely done this weekend is not looking real good. It's actually not too bad out here right now, believe it or not. But you know, again, it's hard to do, you know, with Frankie being gone the next couple of days, and with the heat that we've had, it's been a little bit tricky. So, and then we had thunder. About 15-20 minutes ago we had thunder, but I don't think we're getting any rain because there's not enough clouds not enough of the right kind of clouds anyway to really do anything. But man, it's coming along. And man, having that help from some of the family popping by to do that and have a little bit of fellowship and time together and just chit-chatting, and the kids got to hang out and they had fun running around. And in fact, I just finished cleaning up the kitchen because we put the food away and stuff, but Mike decided to cook. So I had a mound of dishes in the kitchen, both sides of the sink full up and the whole one side of the counter. And I was like, and the girls were like, oh, we'll help you. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather just hang out. They're stacked where they are. I'm tired. I still got to finish the video that's going to post tomorrow because I got to look at it before it posts. You know, I had rendered it. And I was like, you know what? I will deal with this tomorrow after church, because there was nothing on there that was like baked on or that needed, you know, I was just like, you know what? It's fine. It can sit till tomorrow. It's fine. So that's what we did. And so I just finished cleaning up in there and doing all that, and just checked in with Frankie on her trip. They had a minor snafu with one of the buses, but they are safe and okay. But they are working out the problem, trying to get it fixed. It's definitely going to delay them getting there this evening, but you know, we're praying that they have a safe trip and are able to work it out and get that bus back on the road safely. I guess we'll see what happens, but I'll check in with her in a little bit and see if they're back on the road. That is one of those handy things, though, once your kid's got a cell phone or something like that, where you can, you know, check where they are on Life 360 or on Find My iPhone or whatever app it is that you choose to use. You can just see right where they are and how fast they're going and when they're going to get there and how far away they are from me, because that'll tell me about when they're going to be home, like when she's getting back and it's time to pick her up, all that wonderful stuff. So gotta love that. Some of the modern conveniences that we have now, that, you know, when I was a kid, we got dropped off at the mall or we went somewhere, you know, we would call collect, you know, and when it was time to say your name, you'd say, I'm ready to get picked up. And then that was, you know, then you'd hang up, and then, you know, that was before cell phones and all of that, you know. But that's how we rolled back when I was a kid. Now we can track where our kids are down to the second, you know. In a way, it's almost like, man, they lose a little bit of that freedom as kids that we had in the 70s and the 80s and even in the early 90s. But now I can pinpoint exactly where she is almost at all times, which I'm a fan of. As a mom, I'm a fan of that. I don't know. I mean, she doesn't know any different, so I guess for her it's normal. I don't know, but it is definitely one of those conveniences that I do enjoy. Look at Bonko. This cat cracks me up. Anyway, Mike's calling me now. He's probably got a question about something. He's at Scruggs. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. As always, we appreciate you. And until next time, stay blessed and safety's off.